What is up, guys? Happy Friday. Today, we are going to go ahead and continue with the back testing. And the first pair we're going to go ahead and look at is Ethereum. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's go to the higher time frame. I always like to start off with higher time frames to see the bigger picture. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing, right? At the moment, obviously, we do have a nasty rally to the upside in this specific area, which gives us a starting point way down here. But I don't know if Ethereum will come down that low ever. Again, I mean, I wouldn't mind it, right? This does look like some liquidity, but I don't know if it'll ever go down that low again. So, but just something to keep in mind. You could always keep things in the future. You guys never know. I mean, you never know. Um, but inside this area specifically, I do see a liquidity sweep. And I was looking at this one right here specifically, right? This area would be my change of direction. So we do change direction there and we do build some liquidity. So that even though, like, yes, sometimes the market does leave some liquidity and some type of trend line type structure. Hey, I love you too, KK. Let's go, baby. Glad to have you. Even though, especially with like cryptos, I noticed like it will leave some type of trend line or some type of liquidity, and then it'll take off. And then the market will respect this area and take off again. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Yeah, just keep that in mind. So let's just say this is like a 5 minute chart, right? Yes, we're on the monthly, but very similar things could happen on the 5 minute chart or the 1 hour chart, right? Don't be scared to take these opportunities here. Don't be scared to take this loss. Don't be scared because if you have a zone right here, guys, you're already a couple steps ahead, right? You have to run your risk to reward. You have to run, not every trade is going to be a winner, right? So you're going to have to take a loss one of these times. And the next trade, that's meant to bounce you back, right? And if everything comes into place, if everything, let's say you take a loss here, if everything comes into place, come on, my boy, take a loss. Okay, it happens. If everything comes into place, you get in it again, market gives you a change of direction, you're able to get into a second opportunity and continue this shift and continue that shift, right? So just because you take a loss, guys, don't think it's like the end of the world. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. You have to understand that, right? And the one educator who really helped me understand that was Valentino. Um, his boot camp is fairly advanced and it's kind of boring to my taste, how I like to be, for things to get broken down to. So I had to watch that boot camp over and over. I had to watch it like 2 or 3 times, and it's kind of long, especially on the old platform. It was kind of long. Each video was like an hour and a half, and I had to watch that whole thing a couple times. But the one thing I did understand is that he always has two zones. Anytime that he sees an opportunity, anytime that he sees the break of structure or his liquidity sweep followed by change of direction, he understands that there are two opportunities. He understands that there is a starting point, or in his case, a demand zone or an order block. And then he understands that there is the what is it called? When imbalance is already a mitigation, the mitigation setup. Does that make sense? So just keep that in mind. Watch his boot camp, right? Watch his boot camp. You don't really have to. Anytime that I watch, this is just the tip that I like to give myself, right? Anytime that I watch an educator, I'm not trying to like implement 100 different things into my strategy, right? What can I learn from them that can help me with mine? Right. And this is one thing that helped me with mine that can give me confidence, knowing that he's also following the same structure that I'm following, and he also sees the same setups that I'm seeing, and he understands he might have to take a loss, but that's where risk to reward comes in. Okay. Give me a two if that makes sense, guys. Super important. Like risk to reward, like just understanding risk to reward, like simplified, like, okay, I'm able to lose one and I could bounce back. That's one thing. But like doing it in the market and actually understanding, like, yo, I'm just like ready to load. Like I'm ammo stocked, right? So we do get this change of direction. Nasty rally. Starting point was definitely respected. I mean, if you have your stop loss very, very tight right right below, beneath that starting point, yes, you have your stop loss hit. If you put it beneath the actual low, you are still in there. And again, like keep this in mind. Like let's say this is the 5 or the 15 minute. I know this is the monthly, so I would have probably put my stop loss here as well, right? Or maybe even here. But again, this is the monthly, so that's a lot of pips. But let's say this is like the 15 minute. I'm always putting it. Anytime it's the lower time frame, it's okay. I'm willing to risk an extra 5, 10, 15 pips to put it at the low for safety, right? So just keep that in mind. But the market does respect that. And let's say it did take you out, right? Let's say it did take you out here, right? Because the market does wick below. But I have a question for you guys, and this is a super important question. What's up, my boy? This is a super important question, right? Does the market break and close below that starting point? Yes or no? I'll go ahead and zoom in. Does the market break and close beneath that starting point and below that stop loss? Yes or no? No, it just throws a wick, right? Sometimes that happens, and that's something to keep in mind. And again, let's say this is lower time frame, right? Because same rules apply. Yes, so we're just trying to pick your pockets, right? They know what the zones are, right? They know where everybody's supposed to put their stop loss, right? What they're gonna do is they're gonna go ahead, head down shear. Yeah, it happens to everybody. It's okay. It's okay. They're gonna head down. News is gonna hit, and then they go down one more time. Now the thing is they're gonna throw a wick, and then continue our way. So as long as we can see this structure here, right? And we understand that the market does not close below. If we had a candle that closed below and it looks something like this, right? This candle closed below, then it would be something different. Now we actually start looking for sells. But because it was just a wick, that tells us we can still continue to look for buys. Okay. Give me a 5 if that makes sense. But that's something that, I mean, that's super important, guys, actually. Super important. Right. So now that we know that, let's go ahead and just follow up with the structure that we have, and then we'll actually see if we can find a re-entry there. But at the moment, right, this is our buy zone. What does the market do? The market gives me a break of structure to the downside and then changes direction to the upside. That's nice, right? That's exactly what we want to see. So we have another starting point here, followed by an inverted head and shoulder. That's pretty nice. I like that. Now let's see if we can find structure here on lower time frame. I mean, I see it. Let's see if we can get something lower because on the daily, weekly, it doesn't give anything. Okay, guys, this is something that I want to go ahead and show you guys, right? Notice how this setup here is right on that stop loss. Right on that stop loss. But that's the thing. Once you understand that the market was just manipulating you, you have to trust your gut. You have to trust your gut, guys. We had the break of structure or more of a liquidity sweep to the downside. The change of direction to the upside. My starting point is right here. Would you consider that a good entry? Would you have taken this? I mean, you could be honest, right? Would you can I think that's a great entry, to be honest. I mean, if maybe like an A minus setup, maybe even like a B plus, if we can have more liquidity here, that would give me an A plus setup, right? Boom, that would give me more of even more an incentive to get in there. But I still like this setup. Just based off the rules, guys. We have a liquidity sweep followed by change of direction. And if you're trading smart money, I mean, that's a nasty imbalance. You know what I'm saying? So the heck. Now let's take a look. Let's see if it gives us anything else on any other time frame. It doesn't look like it does, unless you're taking like a break and retest. Maybe even something on lower time frame here as well. But that right there, you could have literally caught that manipulation move. Right. You could have caught that manipulation move. Let's go to the weekly real quick. Okay, cool. So now back to the weekly. We can see that this rally here is what gave us this change of direction. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark up this as my starting point. Let's drop down to the daily and let's just take a look at structure. Right, this is my last selling candle that gives me the break of structure to the upside. Right, oops, to the upside. It doesn't look like it's holding very well. I mean, it's holding, but just the way it looks, we're gonna take a look right now, lower time frame. This would be my inverted. We have the BOS to the downside, change of direction to the upside. My shoulder, my stop loss. So let's go ahead and take a look on the 4 hour. See, but that's the thing, like with cryptos, like it doesn't need to be clean. Like it just needs to hit a zone, and then before you know it, that shit is low key gone. Like that's the thing. So just trust what your eyes see. Trust what your eyes see, guys, especially with crypto. It doesn't always have to look this clean. Like go back and look at some of the charts. Sometimes they be giving you like equal lows, trend line, and then that shit is gone. So just keep that in mind. Um, let's go ahead and hop on the 1 hour. Okay, cool. I don't really like this wick. I'm not sure if it's just like the Bitfinex chart. I don't know if that's in any other Ethereum chart. I'm not sure, but I do like this structure here. The BOS to the downside, right into that starting point. We change direction, followed by a starting point. Came right into this shoulder, and it is giving us some type of rejection right now, which is low-key pretty good. Stop loss would be here. Now, this is the thing, right? For more confirmation, I do like that we have a lot of liquidity, and everybody knows that the cryptos are kind of running right now, right? So this is like a lot of liquidity. Now, what will give me more confirmation to start looking for some more buys? We have the BOS to the downside here. This would be my change of direction. Right? So if the market can push up, and what even make it better is if it starts to hang out and create more liquidity and it starts to come down like that, boom. Let's start looking for some more opportunities and shift that market higher. Because we're in a zone right now. Do we have a sell zone? Let's see. On the only sell zone that I like personally would be like here. I wouldn't mind
No,
that.
no, I mean the time frame you were just on right there.
Yeah, so like the closest one in this area, let's see, would be the starting point. This one looks like it was taken, at least on this time frame. Yeah. You see his shoulder right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoulder. Hey, low-key structure was low-key filling the starting points. Starting point. My dog is crying. Bro, you were fed. Starting point was taken. Starting point was taken. Those starting points on Ethereum low-key be hitting, it looks like. Go to the 1 hour. Yeah, low-key the structure do be looking clean though. Like it do be looking clean. My back button. Yeah, so let's say you're even looking for sells, right? Well, it will give us more confirmation for buys if these got disrespected too. Also followed by some liquidity, right? If we just sharply go above, now again, like if we sharply go above, right? And then the market starts coming down quick, that might be a wick on the 4 hour time frame. Like we can still be in that, the sell opportunities possibly. Guys, that wick rule, bro, that goes for every time frame. If you have a specific setup on a specific time frame, guys, I'm telling you, wait for that break and close. Like whatever candle hits your stop loss, you got to wait for that candle to close, right? Don't be in a hurry. Wait for that candle to close and you'll have a sense of direction. But this looks pretty good. As of right now, this is kind of it. I wouldn't mind this one either. Just because this is like the next one in line, right? We already got one here. That one was taken. This one wasn't taken. I know this is the closest head and shoulder, but I do like to take the ones that were the next ones in line, right? So this was number one, technically. Let's say this is number two. This was number three. This one's the next one in line. So keep that in mind too. All right, keep that in mind. Something to think about. Something to think about. So when the market does come in that area, we just have to follow structure, like what looks better in that area in that time, the buys or the sells. And that'll give us more of a direction once liquidity starts to print, right? If we're bullish in this area and then we just start seeing like hella liquidity and then market starts going down into a starting point here, most likely we'll just continue going higher. Right now we'll have to see what's happening now. Market's inside of a zone. What's going to happen? Are we going to build liquidity and then change direction? That would give us more sense of maybe some more sell energy, right? Or are we going to consolidate, smack down, and then continue going higher? So we'll just have to see what happens in this little area. But again, because like the cryptos are fairly bullish at the moment within like the last few weeks, within the push, um, people are still looking for some more opportunities. Again, lower is always better, guys. So like, don't be putting all your eggs in one basket if you are looking to buy. Because I know like everybody was like, "Yo, can look for some more entries, continue to buy more," right? But again, like that's everybody, right? Like everybody's looking to continue buying. And if we follow structure, just with what we have here, I mean, lower is always better, right? Followed by structure. I'm always waiting for the lower zones, right? Come to my shoulder. I don't know if it'll get down here, but I'm always waiting for these lower zones. Even this starting point, right? This is the monthly starting point. Guys, I mean, crypto is they'll drop like 15% in a week. Like that's nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll drop it, so don't ever think that this is too far, right? This can happen within a month. It can drop and come back up in a month, and then it's gone, right? So just keep that in mind. Put an alert, right? Put an alert. Mm, I'm just curious. Let's take a look at some other Ethereums. I don't like that wick. Let's look at Binance, Coinbase, see what they got. Oh, they do got that one too. Yeah, they got that too. Hmm. Just curious, just curious. Any other pairs you guys want me to look at? The dollar, I got you. I got you on gold. The dollar did have a drop this week, um, which I thought was needed. And it's like low key, like we may be getting into some reversal territory on higher time frames, right? We just went into a fat imbalance. Even though, like, technically on the monthly time frame, oops, we are still stuck in this area. Like, I would consider this area consolidation at this point. Like, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months in the same area. I mean, it's consolidation. It's not this, right? Like, it's not this rush, or it's not this rush, it's still stuck. So as we drop down, we're on the daily time frame. We just got into an imbalance. For those who trade imbalances or look at imbalances, right? Give a fat rejection, but now it had gave a nice pullback into a higher time frame area. This is the 4-hour starting point. The daily starting point is here, right? So it's fairly close, right? It can still make its way down. But again, like, market is slightly in that downward trend. So we could possibly just continue in that downward trend, right? It doesn't have to continue going higher just because, liquidity is left there. It is what it is, right? Market tapped into it, market slightly downward trending. Market could just be building some more liquidity here, right? On a higher time frame. It is what it is. Like, we've already understood that from the beginning. And if you don't, we've been talking about, once you get a good change of direction, once you get a good change of direction opportunity, right? Market builds liquidity. We get a break of structure. We change the direction. A good opportunity usually hangs out here and builds liquidity. And sooner or later, it'll start to go higher. We can start looking for sales, and then it'll use this area of liquidity for future targets, right? So it happens. It's playing in a process from on the monthly time frame. So it's going to take forever, right? Well, look, same thing happened. If we go to them weekly, same thing happened. Let's try to shrink this up. Higher high, higher low. We have a break of structure, change of direction. We hung out here forever. We hung out here forever. Break of structure, change of direction. We're starting to hang out here for a while, right? So it happens. It repeats itself. We just got to stay ready. However, with that downward trend, we could still be looking for some sell opportunities with the dollar, right? So just keep that in mind. What would give me more confirmation is if we change direction here. Now, the reason for that is because I don't really like this equal high. Like, that doesn't tell me the market is going down lower. That tells me that the market left money to take out in the future, right? So if this is my break of structure on the daily/weekly, and this is my change of direction. Now, if we can change direction, that will tell me and give me more confidence that the US dollar will continue dropping, right? Because again, it is in that downward trend, and at least continue dropping a bit lower, right? We can still actually hang out in this range for some time. I mean, unfortunately, right? So as I'm saying dropping, I mean like continue dropping in this range, which can also help us with our other pairs that we trade. But that's just something to keep in mind. Now, with that, right, thinking that the market could go higher, right? I just gotta follow structure, right? On the 4-hour time frame, this is my break of structure to the downside. It's my BOS. This is my change of direction. We just gotta stay locked and loaded with that. On the 1-hour time frame, that already happened actually, right? So if we can continue going higher, that'll give me more confirmation, right? If we can just continue going, boom, that's awesome, right? Let's start to pull back, look for some opportunities. But it already happened. We have the BOS here, followed by the change of direction. Now notice how this change of direction, or this point, if it continues to go our way, right, notice how it didn't leave more liquidity. It didn't leave, equal highs. It didn't leave some type of trend line. No, it came down. It swept what it was supposed to sweep, pick up what it was supposed to pick up, and it was gone. Does that make sense, guys? Right now, if it continues to go, that gives us more confirmation. Now it left us the blueprint. It left us what we need to see. Starting point, followed by a change of direction. We have the break of structure, right? This is everything we need to see. Now we just got to see next week, is the market going to continue going higher or is it going to continue dropping lower? Because technically at the moment, we are in a we're in a 4-hour starting point to the downside. And that's why the market's chilling right there the way it is, right? It already hit it, it's rejecting, it's hanging out. So who's going to win, the buyers or the sellers right now? Right? The buyers bought off this buy zone. We're in sellers territory. Who's going to win next week? Are the buyers going to continue buying or the sellers going to continue selling? We just got to wait. Let's go ahead and continue with gold. Well, higher time frame, guys, we all know it's bullish, right? Market's been doing its thing. As we continue to drop on the daily, this is the closest starting point. So the market's pulling back. I mean, this is just one candle. But if the market does pull back a little bit more, I mean, we have zones we can look at and then possibly look for some more opportunities to continue going higher, right? But we'll see. 4-hour time frame, 8-hour, 4-hour time frame. Keep in mind, guys, right? Like the daily and weekly zones will always get come back to, guys. That's why you have to look at higher time frames. You cannot, even if you scalp, guys, you can't ignore higher time frames. Like you can't. Like there's no ends, ifs, or buts. Because if you don't pay attention to them, when big moves like this happen on the 1 hour, on the 15-minute, you're not gonna know like where's the market headed or where's the possible rejection. Can we wait? Should we play aggressive? You know, higher time frames, guys, they'll always come back to them. So we just have to wait. We wait for one of two things, right? This is what I like to do, right? I wait for one of two things. If I see an opportunity, whether it's a starting point or an inverted head and shoulder, I'm waiting right here. I'm waiting for buys right here. Or I am waiting for the market to give me a brand new opportunity, and then I'm taking the opportunity. So I'm waiting either right here, or if the market gives me opportunities, I have to run my odds, right? Because the last thing I'm gonna do is be like, yo, the market better come down to my zone, or I'm gonna wait because I'm the market whisperer. Like, bro, if the market gives you an opportunity, you might miss this. All right. If you want to be picky, go ahead. I encourage being picky, actually. But I've learned and I've missed many trades just waiting for like specific zones. And you know what? I'll be like, hey, I can kind of see a BOS here and change of direction here. And I see my starting point. Should I buy this right now? Should I look for buys? No, I'm just gonna wait right here. Right. And then the market will just continue to buy. And I'm like, yo, I wake up in the morning like, what happened? Like, why didn't I see it? Why didn't I do it? Right. So this is what I like to do. Right. So just keep that in mind. Does that make sense? Give me a one if that makes sense, guys. Awesome. So I have my daily zones marked up. Let's go to 4-hour. The heck? Not sure what that was. There are two zones here as well. If you would like to mark these up just for possible rejections. Again, the market ran through it, but it did not close below it. So just keep that in mind. Let's drop down to the 1 hour. See how I didn't close below it? Now it's starting to push higher before the market closed. Something to keep in mind, guys. Market's running, right? So do you think they're gonna make do you think the banks are gonna make it easy for you to make money? Yes or no? Do you think the banks are gonna make it easy for you to make money? Nah. So they're gonna pick some pockets sometimes, right? For sure, they're gonna pick some pockets. I mean, this one was clean in my opinion. Starting point. I mean, the lowest wick is here. I mean, whoever took that ran. You didn't have to put your stop loss there. That's literally the lowest wick close to my buy zone. I would have used that. That's a smack. That's a smack. Not to say you guys howled that, but whoever did, that's a 1 to 9, right? So they're not going to make every zone easy for you. This one was tough. Got a little bit of trouble, right? But it held it down. This is the thing. This is what I'm seeing, right? Equal highs. That tells me the market could go higher in the future, which is very bullish right now. So, I can kind of see that as well. Um, Now I'm also seeing a break of structure to the downside. Now, this is the thing, guys, right? Once you start understanding who's in power, the sellers or the buyers, and start marking up your zones and just waiting for confirmation, right? That's the sweet thing, right? That's the sweet thing. That's my starting point. My breakout happened here. My starting point happened here, right? Is gold bullish or bearish? Is gold bullish right now, guys, or is gold bearish right now? Gold is bullish, right? If we go to higher time frame, that thing is bullish. Now, when the market is bullish, we don't want to. We want to see inverted head and shoulders, right? This is the structure we want to see when the market is bullish. This is it right here. This is it right here, guys. I don't know how you want to see it, but this is what we want to see, right? So as we drop down, we have a possible rejection zone. Now, this is the thing. Who's going to be in control? Because the closest area for sellers is here. We already tapped into the buys. Now, are the buyers going to stay in control and disrespect these sellers? That way we can start looking for some more buys in the future. That's one possibility. That's what I'm hoping for, so we can continue getting the inverted head and shoulders structure inside of the bullish market. That's the structure, right? We want the buyers to clap these sellers, right? Market's bullish, guys. Okay, right? Somebody has to get clapped. Now, if gold is overbought, or whatever the case may be, people start looking at this run, they start pulling out some profits, right? Total possibility, right? That's a total possibility, right? People will start pulling out some profits, right? We can have a sell-off right there. Now, who won, guys? If the market rejects off this sell and we disrespect this starting point, who won this battle? The buyers or the sellers? I think there's like homecoming or prom because there's like crazy fireworks. If the market rejects off of the starting point, the selling starting point, the sellers won that battle, right? But if the market continues going higher, then the buyers won that battle. So as we go to the 15-minute time frame, this is the structure right here, right? So if you're still thinking bullish, right? If you're still thinking buys, this is a total possibility, right? Where's my closest break of structure to live price or to this low? Right here. This is my closest break of structure. So where's my change of direction? Here. Right? Once the market disrespects and gets that change of direction, we can start looking for buys. If the market hangs out in the starting point and creates liquidity and starts dropping down, you can start looking for buys. If the market disrespects the starting point and starts creating liquidity, we can start looking for buys. Does that make sense, guys? Once we get that change of character, I will start looking for some opportunities, right? Because we have now located the inverted structure inside of that bullish market. Guys, once you start looking for, this is the thing, right? When the market is bullish, we want to see inverted head and shoulders. Where do we find inverted head and shoulders at, guys? Where can I find this structure? Right here. But the thing is, uptrends, yes. But the thing is, right, in this area, they don't tell you, most people don't tell you that this is how structure really looks. Right? I'm creating a higher high. Boom. I am now equal to my higher high. Market drops this to create this higher low. That's it right there. This is this. So that means we have to wait for that market to pull back. We have to be patient and wait for that market to pull back to give us the structure that we need, which is BOS, change of direction. We have to wait, guys. But once we see our setup, it's go time. We can start looking for some opportunities. So when we come back here, we just have to wait. This is just a giant pullback. Look at it. Massive pullback. Higher high, higher low. Let's wait for this change of direction. We can start making new highs. Give me a 5 if that makes sense. Hey, you good? Let's go to the 1 hour. Look at it. Look at it. Higher high, equal high. Break a structure. Break a structure. Let's change direction. Let's continue. That's how it is, guys. All the time. All the time. All right? All the time. Let's see. What pairs do you guys want to look at? What do you want to look at? Anybody trade yens? You guys trade yens? What are you guys feeling? Let me know. Let me know. EU, yeah. So this is the thing, right? We're on the daily time frame. Guys, what did I tell you? Market structure will always come back to daily zones. Guys, would you consider this an easy looking setup based off the 1 hour time or daily time frame? Look at that structure. Let me just erase this real quick. If I showed you guys just this right here, if I showed you this, would you be able to find the starting point? Yes or no? Would you be able to find the setup if I showed you that structure right there? If I was like, hey, Jennifer, find the starting point. This is your structure that I want you to look at. Hey, Litzy, this is the structure I want you to look at. Find your starting point. Right? We all need to know that. Because this is a very simple play based off a starting point. I like starting points because it's simple structure. Like you can't get any closer to like the drawing. Lower low, lower high, lower low. That is it. Lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low. I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner than that, right? Same thing. So we have a starting point here. Market taps in and we get a rejection. But what also told us the market could go lower, right? Just based off of this. I mean, I guess we can drop down the lower time frame to get some clarity. What also told us and gave us some incentive to the market could go lower, right? I guess incentive number one was that we have a bearish breaker structure to the upside. But what else told us the market could possibly go lower? Anybody have an idea? Yeah, we got a rejection. That's true. Good answer. Good answer. And I believe we have a 1 hour change of direction, which gives us more confidence, right? But what I was looking at right here was the equal lows, liquidity, right? So on the 4 hour time frame, this is my break of structure. This is my change of direction line, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This is my closest break of structure on the 4 hour time frame. I would love to see the market change direction so we can start looking for some more sales so we can eventually take out these equal lows. Give me a 2 if that makes sense. Now on the 1 hour time frame, I believe that happened already. Yeah. Yeah, and I believe the market gave the starting point, if I'm not mistaken. If not, it was barely missed. So on the 1 hour time frame, I have higher high, higher low, BOS. Higher high, higher low, BOS. Higher high, higher low, BOS. So let's go ahead and mark that up. This is my closest breaker structure to the high. If this is my high, this is my closest breaker structure right there. Closest breaker structure. Now, if this is my breaker structure, this is my change of direction. Now, if this is my breakout rally here, that's my breakout rally, right? Change of direction. Oops. My starting point is here. That was a snipe. You could have caught that based off the first opportunity. Guys, I'm telling you, risk to reward. Mitigation based off of levels, right, would be here. That's my left shoulder right there. I have two opportunities. I have opportunity number one. Oops. Fat stop loss. Opportunity number one. Stop loss above the starting point, or maybe even above here, whatever you're comfortable with. 1 to 3, you're already at break even and taking partials because you're already at 1 to 2. 1 to 3 would be, oh, you already hit 1 to 3. You're already out the trade. You won. You a winner now. Boom, smacking, right? If I would have taken a loss here, awesome. My second entry is here. My stop loss is the high. I'm willing to go ahead and run the lows. Give me a 3 if that makes sense. Starting point is opportunity 1. The shoulder is opportunity 2. The hit. Awesome. Let's go. So now we just have to wait and see. Market has been chilling inside this 4 hour starting point. There's a lot of liquidity though. A whole lot of liquidity. A whole lot of liquidity for sure. Right? So let's just take a look. Because this is the 4 hour starting point, right? This is the very, 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 very last buy zone right here. So as the market is coming down to my buy zone, what should I be doing for extra confirmation? Who knows it? What should I be doing as the market is coming down for extra confirmation? Adjusting. Let's go. Let's go, Jennifer. When we see break of structures, we want to go ahead and mark up our zones. Find your BOSs and find your change of direction lines. When the market continues to give you your BOSs, continue to adjust your BOS line and change of direction line. Right? So as of right now, this is what I see on this time frame. BOS here, change of direction here. All right. Market drops, lower low, lower high, BOS here. So then we adjust. Now, what can give me more confirmation? Next week, if you're continue to look for buys, in order to feel comfortable, if the market can go ahead and hold this zone, right? Because what does this say? Need change of direction for sell opportunities. You're already in a buy zone, so you already should be looking for some opportunities. You shouldn't be looking for sales unless the market changes direction. Literally, if you mark it up like this, like guys, just listen to your confirmations. It's telling you, don't look for sales until you have the change of direction, right? You know you should be looking for buys because the market has been bullish in this specific area. This is the very last buy zone, right? So in order to feel comfortable, if this is my BOS, if the market changes direction and maybe even consolidates and comes back down to the buy zone, I would start looking for some buys and continue the market going higher. Now, if the market says, you know what, we're going to go ahead and continue dropping. Awesome. Let's go. That's fine with me. So you know what we have to do? We have to go ahead and adjust. We have to adjust. Refresh, right? Did we not get the change of direction? Yes, we did. So let's go ahead and confirm. Change of direction. Now, again, this is where risk to reward comes in, right? Because where's my starting point? Technically, it should be here because that's my last buy push up. So my starting point should be within this area. Now, where's my shoulder? Risk to reward. Risk to reward. Give me an 8 if that makes sense, guys. Let me know. Let me know. Let's go. Let's go. Same thing with USDCHF. And honestly, I didn't really like this one. I thought this one was pretty ugly. Like, I didn't really like this head and shoulder. But, bro, look at it. Is it not a head and shoulder? Like, USDCHF has been bearish since 2002. Right? When it really started moving, it started giving some bullish momentum for 2 years, 2021, 2022, and then 2022, all the way to 2025. So for the past 3 years, USDCHF has been fairly bearish, right? But look at the structure, guys. Like I'm telling y'all, you just have to wait. When the market is flowing to one side, right? Let's say the market is bullish. When the market is bullish, you just have to wait for the market to give you this inverted so you can continue going higher. Now, when the market is bearish, all you have to do is wait for that market to give you a head and shoulder so you can continue going lower. Like, bro, trading is such a waiting game, but people want to be eager every single day. But the more you wait, but the better the outcomes will become. So as we go back up, bro, look at this. But again, like look at the situation that the market was giving you. Literally, risk to reward. Let's just say this is my buy setup right here. The market, we didn't buy here. I'm sorry, we didn't sell here because we didn't get confirmation till here. But what did the market give us first? Opportunity one, starting point, right? What happened after that? Break a structure. What did the market give us? Starting point. What did the market continue to give us? Break a structure. What did the market give us? Starting point. Do you guys see the pattern? So look at this shoulder is still waiting. And we are actually, because the market is allowing us to continue taking these setups, the market is allowing us to create liquidity for this head and shoulder. Liquidity. Right? But that doesn't mean the market isn't going to allow us to continue moving lower. The market's bearish. The market will save this zone for some time next year. That's fine with me. Right? That is fine with me. But look at the structure, daily time frame structure. Look at the starting point. Look at the starting point. BOS. Starting point. Guys, look at it. Did market give us another head and shoulder and bearish structure? Yes, it did. That is very, very slight, but I would say that's still change of direction. Right? Which means, again, my next setup is right here. Give me a 2 if this is making sense, guys. Everything I'm breaking down right now. Because literally, you just have to focus on 1 to 2 pairs and just wait, bro. Like you could have ate here, 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 but you want to be a freaking chismosa, bro. And a chismoso. You want to be all toxic, be all up in the grill, checking phones and whatnot. You feel me? Being all like, yo, what are you doing? Looking over your shoulder, like, hey, I saw you like that girl's picture. Like you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Like, hey, well, I heard you're taking, drinks from guys. Like, whoa, chill, bro. Just follow structure, dog. Follow structure. You feel me? Structure will lead you to the promised land, guys. Promise you. The thing is, like, sometimes we try to get like too, like, not that it's a bad thing, right? Like, we try to put all the information that we've learned and put it into an analysis. But how many times have you done that and you just get like analysis paralysis where you're just like, bro, I don't even know. Now I'm overthinking. Has that happened to you before? That's for sure happened to me, right? For sure happened to me. But you know what I've learned? When you just keep things simple with structure, like guys, this is ugly head and shoulder. Why? Because look at all this liquidity. If you're someone who trades smart money, you're looking at that and saying, you know what, this structure is going to be swept for possibly this head and shoulder here. If you're following smart money to a T, you're saying that was too much liquidity. There's liquidity here as well, right? Here's a better entry. Market will probably sweep that. But look at just how simple. If we just follow simple BOSs followed by a change of direction. I feel like sometimes we overcomplicate things, right? And I know that for a fact because I was trading and I was doing very well without understanding a lot of smart money, without understanding what a sweep of liquidity was, without understanding what liquidity even was, without understanding what like mitigation was or what news even was. I didn't trade news for like the first 2 years, bro. I swear I put on anything I didn't. I didn't trade news and I didn't know liquidity for like my first 2 years because I didn't trade smart money. Oren didn't focus on liquidity. He didn't even know how to say liquidity. He would say like liquidity. That that's another topic. But and he also didn't trade with news, right? So like sometimes I feel like we overcomplicate it, and if we just keep the structure simple and trade what we see, I feel like we'll have a lot of better outcomes, right? So take that with a grain of salt, guys, for sure. But I hope, this was a smaller call, but I hope you guys had some clicking moments, every call is different. There's gems that are thrown on every call, and I try to even, if I see something, I will, hey, you want me to see if I could get him for a call for you guys? But the thing is, though, like we can't put up 7 people. I'm not gonna like Coach Oren for Coach O right now. 8 p.m. is 11 for him because he stays on the East Coast, right? So I can't. You said yeah. He said yes. You take. All right, bet. I'll go ahead and hit him up then. We're gonna make it happen. But we got to do our part though. Carlos, so Lissy, Juan, Jose, Jennifer. We got to do our part. We got to hit up our people and be like, yo, we got Coach O. Y'all gonna know Coach O. We need to get this thing popping because we can't just put up 7 people. We can't put up 30 people. I'm not gonna get Coach O out of bed for 30 people. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I feel like that's a waste of his time. He deserves more respect in my personal opinion. Um, but I'm way more than willing to make that happen for you guys. But let's go ahead, guys. I hope today's call was something that you guys needed. I hope you guys took something from it. Again, I'm always down for questions, guys. Never be scared. There is no question that's too small or too big or too dumb or whatever the case may be. Don't ever think that. It's all about comfortability. It's all about confidence at the end of the day, right? So whatever question you may have to ask in order for you to feel comfortable or in order for you to feel confident, it is what it is. Let's start feeling confident together, right? So I hope you guys had a good session. I appreciate you guys for hopping on. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you guys for your time, and I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Let's go, Dodgers, baby. Let's go.